Hi and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can create this personalized petition in Word that includes the title and description on every single page. So let's open a new document. So I've just opened a normal A4 page, and the first thing we're going to do is to insert all the titles, the logos and the descriptions at the top of the page, allowing this to appear on every single page of your petition. So what we need to do is to enter this information in the headers and footers. However, before we do so, we need to increase the top margin here. And over the side here, you can see the rulers. Now, if you can't see the rulers, go up to View and make sure that rulers are checked. Then hover between the grey and the white section. You can see you've got a double arrow. Click and pull down that margin until you've got enough space to include the information that you need at the top of your form. Once you've done that, double click at the top of your page and you can now see we've entered into the headers and footers. This allows whatever information you put into this section to appear on every page of your document. So in order that we can include a logo and fit everything in, I'm going to use some text boxes. So go to Insert, Text Box, Draw Text Box, click and draw out a text box. If I deselect this text box, you can see we've been left with a black borderline, and there's also a white fill colour in here. So what we're going to do is to firstly insert our text, so double click inside until you can see your cursor. Then you can begin to type, but in this case, so you don't have to watch me type, I'm just going to copy and paste my text in. If I double click inside, go to the Home tab, here you can see the font I've used, the font size I've used, and also bold. This first word here, I've increased the size to 24. You don't have to do that, but of course that's entirely your choice. Now to take off the black line around the outside, I'm just going to select it, go to Shape Format, go along to Outline, click on the drop down and select No Outline. Deselect, and now you can see I've just been left with this title. Now I'm also going to copy and paste this text box. Easiest way to do that is to select it, hold down the Alt or Option key, click and drag, deselect. Another way you can do it, to select it, go to the Home tab, copy, deselect and then paste. And again, you can see you've got another one of those boxes. This one hasn't quite pasted correctly, but that's fine because you can just delete it, or you can just highlight everything in it and put the next set of text in. I'm just going to delete it, move this one down, and then I'm going to put my next set of text in by selecting all of this text and just pasting in my new text. So the reason I've put these in two separate text boxes is because it gives me a little bit more flexibility on placement, but also I can make this box bigger or smaller depending on the size of my logo and where I want this text to go. It means it's far easier then for me to increase and decrease the size of this text, but leave the title here as it is. So that's why I've done it. It just gives me more flexibility. So I'm going to leave that text there for a minute, and now I'm going to insert my logo. So go to Insert, Pictures, Picture from File, then just search for the logo you want and click Insert. So at the moment you can see it's not quite right, it's hidden behind all this text. So once it's selected, go up to Wrap Text, select In Front of Text, and then you can reduce the size of it and move it exactly where you want it. So to be a little bit more cohesive with your design, try perhaps to line up the top of this logo with the top of this text here, and the edge of this logo perhaps with the text here as well. Perfect. So once you're happy with this, you can double click in the center of your page, which will mean you'll come out of the headers and footers. You can see it's grayed out, which is perfectly normal. That's what happens in the headers and footers. But if I then zoom out and add a page, if I go to Insert and go to Page Break, you can see that's copied across onto the second page. Now when you print this out or save it as a PDF file, it will look absolutely perfect. So let me show you the PDF. So this is exactly what it will look like when saved as a PDF file. So let's get rid of that second and then just delete this page for a minute. You can see my cursor's down here now. So I'm going to press the return key and then go to Insert, Table, Insert Table. I'm going to have 5 columns and let's add 23 rows and press enter. So now I've got my table. What I'm going to do is increase the height of all of these cells because they're a little bit narrow. So select the table, go to Table Layout, and along here to Height, select Height, and then you can put whatever number you like that works for you. Let's put 1 in and press enter. And you can see that's quite wide. That might work for you. And as you can see, we've made this second page. I'm only going to make 1 page for demonstration, but of course, if you want to make multiple pages, select your bottom row, go to Table Layout, click Insert Below, and just keep clicking, and you can extend to as many pages as you want. Alternatively, you can go right back to your table where you put Insert, and then of course number of rows, you can put as many as you like. So if you wanted 400, 500 rows, then you can insert it in here. So just for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to click and drag across all of these cells, and then I'm going to right click and just select Delete Cells. Okay, and now we're just back to the 1 page. So because I want to put my numbers here, just like this, I'm going to decrease the width of this column. So I'm just going to hover over this line, pull it over to this side, and then continue with my numbers. Then I'm going to select this row, go to Table Layout, and go to Align to Center. And now you can see all those numbers are beautifully lined up. Now I'm going to put the text across the top. So insert your cursor into the top row, just start typing. But in this case, once again, I'm just going to paste them in. And then if you're not happy with the placement of these words, then just select them all, go to Table Layout, go over to the Alignment Tools. I'm going to choose Align to Center, but of course you can choose any of these here, and then they're perfectly lined up in those cells. Additionally, I'm going to select this top row, go to Table Design, I'm going to go to Shading, and I'm going to select this grey colour, deselect, and then you can see I've got this nice grey shading across the titles up here. If you want to move these, depending on how much space you need, again hover over the lines, click and drag across. You'll probably need more room for names, less room for date, so we can pull over for the address. And once again, this is all personal choice. So now we've got this table in, I can see I want to make a couple of adjustments to the top. Double click at the top in the headers and footers, and I want to align this text with my table. So I can do that by zooming in. I can line that text up with the edge of my table there, and then just use my arrow key to move that text up. I can also move this side in so the text generally lines up with the edge of the table here. And I can do the same with this, line this one up with the text, and just use my arrow key to move that up. And then I can just move this logo over a little bit so the edge of the logo ties in with the edge of this table. Double click outside the box, outside the headers and footers, and then zoom out and check your design. So I'm just going to move my table down a little bit by clicking at the top here, using my return key. Now you can see I've made a separate page. I'm going to undo that process, but the gap at the bottom here is quite big. So once again, I'm going to go over to my rulers, down to my margins, click between the grey and white section and pull down, and then click above my table here, press the return key twice, giving me a little bit of room, and then I'm going to select all of these at the top here to move them down. So to do that, double click at the top here again. I'm going to select them all by holding down the Command or Control key. Use my arrow key to just move them all down. Don't worry about going beyond this line, it doesn't matter. And then deselect by clicking anywhere in the top section. And then you can just review it. Perfect. So if you want to add a little bit of colour interest to the top here, again, we're back in the headers and footers. Go to Insert, Shapes, go to the square, click and draw out a rectangle that will fit right across your page, and then we can just make some adjustments to this. So select it, go to Shape Format and over to Format Pane. Then go to the bucket icon, click on the fill arrow, go down to Gradient Fill. Then I've got my gradient on linear. Then you can choose the direction. I've gone top to bottom. Apologies, you can't see them all, but it's this one here. Then gradient stops, we choose the color by selecting one of these markers, going to the color tool and selecting color of your choice. Again, let's suggest that I go for the yellow. That's what happens. And then with this one, I always choose the white because it blends in with the rest of the page. Again, you can do that by clicking on the white one. But then if I deselect, you can see we've got this black line, which is a borderline around the shape. So just select the shape again, go to line and select no line. But then when we deselect, we can see that this shape goes over the top of our text. So to correct that, just select the box again, go to Shape Format and go to Send Backwards, click on the drop down and select Send to Back. Now you can see here we've got the white fill colours in our boxes. So select the box, go to Shape Fill, no fill, same with this one, no fill, and that's all being corrected. Now to zoom out, click back in the main document. This is all ready to be printed, or you can select multiple pages by continuing the box as I showed you before. Click on the bottom one, table layout, and just keep clicking insert below. So now you can go to File, Save As, then make sure you go down to the bottom here. You can save it as a Word document, or you can go down and save it as a PDF and print it out, and then just click Save. Now, if you can't be bothered to make this and you want a copy of it, there will be a link in the description below where you can download a copy. Perfect. So I hope that's helped you today. If it has, please like and subscribe, and have a great day.